What's going on, everybody? SpaceBallz here. Welcome back to another Calibria Crystal Guardians video. Today, guys, we are actually going to be doing first impressions on Himiko. I was actually lucky enough yesterday on stream during our massive stream summoning session to be able to pull Himiko. So I'm actually editing the summoning video as we speak, so that should be up tomorrow. But I wanted to put up some type of Himiko video today because that video is going to take me a long time to edit. So I hid everything else that I pulled. We pulled a bunch of stuff last night. So I hid everything else in my storage. So today we're going to go over Himiko. So let's get right into it. Here we go. We had an awesome time summoning yesterday. If you want to catch me on Twitch, the link is in the description, guys. And you could see the full summoning video in full. If not, you could wait for the highlights, which I'm probably going to put up probably sometime tomorrow. This video I'm going to put up right after the stream. I just wanted to get a video up for you guys because I've been a little busy lately. So my YouTube videos have been a little spaced out. I am sorry about that, but we'll be back to our daily uploads starting from this video forward. So here we go. I was so happy to pull her. It's like I never get to pull the units when they're like brand new brought into the game. I always have to wait a month to 2 months, as you guys may already know. So when I pulled her, I was super excited. Now she looks really awesome. First things first, just her looks alone, she looks amazing. I really like how they kind of brought like the Chinese New Year into the game, we'll say it looks like. And now, I tried a couple different builds on her already. This one seems to be the best. I had her on 100% hit percentage, but her A1 actually seems to be stripping without 100% hit percentage because it is a 100% chance to strip the debuff and then transfer it to a random ally. This seems to work 100% of the time, whether I had 100% hit percentage or 45 hit percentage. So I'm actually probably going to take even more off just to do some testing in the future. But for today, we're going to leave her at about 50%. So let's go over the skills that I'm using on her first, and then I'll go over the other skills because I actually feel like all of her skills are actually usable. And I've been using her all day, and I'm loving her. I'm loving her. She's a really good support. Now, she's not made for speed teams or anything like that. But as far as like PvP stuff goes, she is going to be top tier. You're going to see her everywhere, all over arena defense, offense, because she just fits into tank teams so well, especially paired with like an Elven Queen, a Cleo, a Celine with all those heals and buffs. So first skill that I've been using on her is balance all allies percent HP and copy all of their buffs to each other. So now the first skill I've been using on her is Supreme Witchcraft, balance all allies percentage HP and copy all of their buffs to each other. Now paired with an Elven Queen, a Cleo, a Celine with all of those buffs. So you have her move last. She copies all of the buffs. So let's say somebody procs out of their buffs after the first turn. So let's say Elven Queen puts up her buffs, everybody takes a turn. They all one turn, and then they take a turn again, and all of their buffs are gone, except for hers. She'll copy the last set of buffs and put them on the rest of the team, pretty much for the most part. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but that's pretty much how this works. Or let's say she steals a speed buff from the other team and puts it on one of your allies, and then in the following turn, she takes that speed buff and puts it on your entire team. I guess that's a better way of explaining it. So paired with her A1, this is just such a great combo, which we'll go over the A1 in just a second. For the A2, because I just paired these skills together, and I'll go over the second set of skills that I've been also testing out on her. This one is extend all allies buffs by 1 turn and immediately receive a bonus attack turn. What's so great about this is on Berserk, she just keeps proccing over and over. So she'll proc into her A1. She'll proc back into her A3, and she'll proc into the A2, which will make her proc again, back into the A1. I've seen her already take like 10 plus turns. It's insane. So I hope that happens today on video. And then we'll get into the first skill, which this is an amazing first skill, guys. So awesome. Attack an enemy to deal 370% of attack and damage, 85% chance to dispel one of the target's buff. If a buff is dispelled, transfer it to a random ally. And this is what I was talking about. Like if you don't have, let's say you don't have a haste buff on your team, she'll steal the haste buff, put it on somebody on your team, and then in the following turn, she will take that haste buff and put it on your entire team while making all of the HP on your team even. So if somebody's low on HP, everybody will have the same amount of HP after she takes her turn. So I'm just having a great time with her, guys. Let's go over the rest of her skills. Now, this is the second one I was working on. I figured this passive paired with this A2, that's why I wanted to go over this one separate, would be how you would use this skill set. So I feel like this is best paired together, the one I just showed you. And then this would be the second pair, which we'll go over right now. I started skilling up the passive, but I ran out of skill cats, so we're going to have to wait a little bit till I get 6 more. And then we'll do a test on these skills as well, because I feel like skills are really important when it comes to himiko. So the passive is at the start of the battle, 70% chance to affect a random enemy target with blood witchcraft, which cannot be resisted when losing HP. The selected enemy will also lose 50% of that amount. When the target is killed, select a new target for blood witchcraft. If you are killed, a target's blood witchcraft status will be lost. If revived, 70% chance to select a new target, which this goes up to 100% chance. So at the start of the turn and when she's revived, this will be 100% chance to go on the enemy, and it seems like it takes 50% of their HP. And now I'm not sure if this does this every turn, like every time they take a turn, or just at the start of the turn. So we're gonna have to do some testing on this as well, which we'll do probably in a different video, because I just want to make this one a quick one about this particular skill set right here, because this one seems to be really awesome. So, and then the A2 that I would pair with this would be this one, which is attack an enemy to deal 535% of attack and damage. After attacking, 85% chance to extend the duration of the target's negative status effects by 1 turn and duplicate it into 2 other random enemies. So I feel like this would be like more of a damage kind of thing. That's why I would pair this one with the passive. It seems like it's going to be really cool too, but again, I feel like it's going to need skill ups. So that's why I stuck with the ones that we're going to do today. But this also seems like it's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. So I'll be working on this, and our next video we'll play with this skill set. And now this passive also, I feel like could have its place, because this is after each turn, 70% chance to duplicate a random ally's buff to another ally. Allies without the buffs will be prioritized. So now, pairing this with something like a Cleo, because now this is a passive. So if you pair it with this A2 and a set of Berserk runes, she's going to proc this one. So it's going to duplicate it. Then she's going to proc into her A1, which is going to duplicate it again from the Berserk set. So let's say she procs back into her A2. She'll literally put your whole team on invincibility from your one Cleo buff. So this is another thing I want to pair together. So I feel like this passive like this, we'll switch it so I can show you. So this set right here, this passive, this A2, I feel like would also be another really awesome pair for like arena defense, maybe even arena offense. But for today, we're going to stick with this one because I feel like this, I don't know, I just like this. I like the way this is working. Once I get this passive skilled up, I might like the linked witchcraft better. But as of right now, I like this one because this actually takes all of it and literally puts it on your whole team and not just one at a time. Because this one, linked witchcraft, you're kind of relying on her to proc the Berserk set. I mean, she's going to proc an A2 no matter what, but you're also relying on those extra procs to really get it on your entire team. So for today, this is what we're going to stick with. But as you can see, I'm super excited because all of her skills seem really useful. So let's go over the build part. If I were to sanctify her, I would say before I started testing her, I would put her on Hawkeye. But after seeing how much she doesn't really need accuracy, that her A1 is actually proccing, I'd probably put her on Robust. But that, again, we're going to have to do some more testing and see if she actually needs the 100% accuracy or not. It's just one day of me testing her. You guys will see in just a second what I'm talking about, because it just seems like her A1 is always doing what it's supposed to do, whether it has 100% or 40%. So that's something we're going to have to look further into. So now let's go over the build. Now, like I said, I had this rune, this slot 6, which I'll show you I had it at hit percentage, which had her at 100% hit percentage, but I actually changed it because I just felt like I didn't need it. I felt like it just kept proccing anyways with or without this hit percentage rune. And this rune's a little bit better, has a lot of attack, some crit rate, and it gives her a little bit of extra damage, has 5% hit percentage, and a little bit of defense, and it just stacks her HP even more. Because I feel like everybody's just going to try to one-shot your himiko to get her off the team before she starts doing crazy things and spreading all buffs and debuffs and all of that stuff. So I feel like her being super tanky and on immunity is actually kind of important, especially if you're going to use her on defense. So that's why I dropped the hit percentage and we went to HP. So let's go over each one. So slot 1, we got attack, defense, speed. This is on her mostly for the speed and crit damage. Then we got speed, attack, hit percentage. This is mostly there for the hit percentage, attack, and crit damage. Slot 3, hit percentage. Again, mostly for the hit percentage, attack, HP, crit damage, innate defense. And then we got slot 4. If I had a defense rune, I probably would have put defense on her, but I didn't have a Berserk defense. I could have took it from my Abyss Lord, but I didn't want to strip anything to put runes on himiko, just in case. I just wanted to test her out first, but I think she's going to get one of my best Berserk sets soon. This is like my low tier set, so I'll probably put her in my best one, seeing how good she actually is. So defense, hit percentage, attack, crit damage, innate attack. And this is actually going to be reappraised. That's why it's here. I'm going to reappraise this. This is resistance, attack, flat defense, and crit damage. But this I'm actually going to reappraise really soon and hope that it gets a high speed roll. And that's just why I threw it on her for now, because I have another one that has 15 speed, but I wanted to put this one on her because I know I'm going to reappraise it, and it's going to be probably the best rune for her, and I didn't want to lose it again, so I just threw it on her. Okay, so that's it pretty much for the build part. Let's go over some rune sets. This is not so much a guide video. I guess it could be. I just don't know enough about her yet. I haven't done enough testing to actually sit here and make like a, you know, a guide that like sets her the way she is, you know what I mean? Like to say it's the end all be all, because I've only been testing her for the last day. I only just pulled her last night, but I can still kind of give you guys an idea of how to build her, because I know a lot of people probably pulled her out of your free sacreds. I know you guys know about all the stuff that went on yesterday, so everybody got a free sacred summon. So I know a lot of people are probably going to end up pulling himiko. So I wanted to give you guys like we'll say a mini guide on, you know, just the basics and what you should be looking for when you're building your himiko for the first time. So let's open these sets here. Blessing could be good on her. The thing with her is I feel like if you're going to use her in PvP, immunity is kind of going to be important here because you don't want her to get one shot. Now, I'm not saying it's end all be all. Maybe you can go with 100% resistance, but if somebody's using Hawkeye, 100% resistance doesn't really mean too much. So I'm going to probably stick with immunity for the most part here, but you could put a blessing set. I wouldn't put an attack set. You could put a defense set. I actually had her on agile first, super fast, but then I realized that she's actually better a little bit like the slowest on your team and not necessarily the fastest on your team. So I dropped the agile runes and I put berserk runes, and she's working much better now. I made her the slowest on my team instead of the fastest on my team. So agile could be good, but I think you're actually going to want her the slowest on your team and not necessarily the fastest if you're going to use her with the build that I'm currently using on her. Wild, I would stay away from it. Destruction, focus could be good because, like I said, I think she needs a little bit of accuracy, but I don't think she needs over like 70%, which we'll go over in a second. Stalwart, again, resistance. I don't think you need to put a resistance set on her because, again, if somebody's using Hawkeye, it's not really going to matter. Desperation could be good on her, but the thing is, because she does proc from her A2, but it's only a single hit, so it could throw somebody off, but it wouldn't be my priority. Same thing with Drain Set, like you could use it, but again, it wouldn't quite be my priority. Frenzy would actually probably be really good on her because just in case, like, if you have her on defense and somebody strips your immunity, but then if you have her on immunity, you're probably not going to have her a 4-piece set. But let's say you have like a set of immunity and then 2 sets of Frenzy, and somebody hits her, she'll cut in and maybe extend the rest of the immunity on the rest of your team or something like that. I mean, I have to do some testing as far as Frenzy goes, but I'm sure you could use it on her if you wanted to. Berserk, I'm going to say, is top set for her. I know Berserk goes good on everybody, but for himiko, I would say it's her best set because of her A2 and the fact that it procs. And anything that procs an extra turn paired with Berserk runes, you're just getting so much return on investment because then that procs, then the Berserk procs, and then it procs back into the A2, which procs back into the Berserk. So you just end up taking so many turns. It's much like Boxer, how she procs so much on Berserk because her every skill has a chance to proc an extra turn, or her A2. I forget if it's every skill or her A2 that procs that can proc a turn every single turn. So you just get such a huge turn on investment when it comes to Berserk runes. So I'm going to say Berserk is at the top. Now, counter set could actually be really good on her because her A1 is so strong. Her A1 is probably one of almost her strongest skill because of what it does, and it's a 100% chance to do it. So counter would actually probably be really good because let's say they take the first turn, you have immunity on, somebody hits you, she counters, let's say she'll steal the attack buff, she'll steal their immunity, or let's say their Elven Queen move, she'll steal their invincibility. So counter can actually be quite fun to test around with. We're going to do another video soon and test out all of these sets. Then the guard set, the shield set, I don't know if I would put that on her. I'd probably put it on one of her teammates, and then she could extend the shield as you guys, like as the battle goes on. Immunity, top, I would say Berserk and Immunity is probably the best set to go with on her at this point. So these would probably be the 2 that I would prioritize over everything else. Revenge, I don't think would be too great on her because, again, you're missing out on the immunity, the Berserk, maybe the Frenzy. Team runes, like I always tell you guys, if you have great team runes, there's no problem in using them. But for himiko, you're probably going to want her on Berserk and immunity. So I'm not going to drag this out too much. And conflict's always good. But the thing is, again, you're probably going to want to put immunity on your himiko. And as you guys can see, we don't have the best set on her. Like I said, this is like my low tier berserk set. She's going to get one of my best berserk sets really soon because of how good she's appearing to be. But it's not a bad set. She's got decent attack, defense a little low, but it's okay. She's got really good HP, so she's going to be quite hard to one shot. She's got that almost 50% hit percentage. Like I told you, I did have her at the 100, but again, I just don't think it's needed, but we'll see. Resistance, she has a resistance lead. That's why I only put a little bit on her. She's got 50%. If I use her lead, she'll have pretty much 100%. But I'm not a big fan of resistance in this game because if somebody's using Hawkeye, if somebody's using this and they have 100% accuracy, they're most likely going to hit their debuff no matter what you do. So I kind of don't ever rune for resistance. That's my whole thing with resistance in this game. So let's get into some testing. Now, we could use her in some dungeons, but I feel like her main place is going to be in PvP because most people, except for like early game people, are pretty much speed running the dungeons, magic, L12, C12, and she's more going to be a slow play unit. She's not necessarily going to be in your speed teams. I mean, I guess she could be, but it's always going to be a better option for speed teams. So we're going to stick more to the PvP side of things today. I'm going to do some further testing. This is just our first look at himiko and see what kind of teams I could put her in as far as like C12, L12. I'm sure she'll be really good in like Vapor. We might even be able to find a place for her in Lair. I know she's going to be good in Spire. But for today, we're going to stick to the PvP side of things because this is just our first look at himiko. I know I kind of did it like guide style. That's just because I was trying to give you guys an idea of how to build your himikos for the first time. So this is the defense that I have her in currently. And that's because of the skill set I showed you guys. We got Celine's buffs that she's going to extend. We got Elven's Queen's buffs that she's going to extend. Then she's going to be stealing buffs from the other team and putting it on our team. Now, I had Teo where Azura was, but I just don't know if my Teo's not fully skilled up yet. So his passive is not proccing all the way. Once he's fully skilled up, I'll probably switch my Azura out for Teo and maybe put my Celine on Revive. And I feel like this would be a really solid defense. I actually just put this up, so let's see if it has any play yet. Just so we can see how himiko's working. I think this one is. I think I had just put up about an hour ago. Let's just see. We lost here, but I just kind of want to see what happened to get an idea of how this defense is working, what we need to switch around on it. I just drew this up just to see what would happen. But we're going to use this on offense. Yeah, I need to put my Celine on immunity. That's the first problem, is my Celine is not on immunity, and she's getting one shot the first turn here. And this succubus just took a gajillion turns. But Elven Queen protected. But see, like, I feel like we already won here because they have to take like 5 or 6 turns before, you know, this is a really long battle for them. For me, I feel like if it goes over 5, 6 turns, that's kind of a win in my eyes because, like, if you look how long this is taking him to beat us. And I'm not necessarily sure if he won here or if the game crashed out or something. We'll find out in just a second here. But you kind of see where this is going, how this team is working. But this is taking him a lot of turns. It's not like he's just coming in here and slaughtering us and the battle's over. This took him a good 2-3 minutes to do this. So in my eyes, that's not a bad thing. So that's it for that. I wish we had some more. Like I said, I just put it up about an hour ago. So let's get into some offense play here. Here we go. Let's refresh the list. See what we got. Now let's see how it'll do against this team. The thing is, we have to be able to tank out these Spider Queens, which I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do. So we might need an HP lead here. And I definitely need to get my Celine on immunity, so I have to keep that in my head. I forgot that I took her off her immunity set. I need to put her immunity set back on her. And that's something I need to do immediately because that's actually causing my defense to not do good because it's just stunning my Celine on the first turn, defense breaking her, and then killing her. So she's not able to do what I want her to do. Where is my Azura? See, so now if I use the resistance lead, we're at 100% resistance pretty much on all of these units here because I have them all around that 40-50% mark. Now the question here is, can we out-tank this? If we can get through the first turn here, we should be okay. So let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. You guys know how Spider Queens go. I could bring my Spider Queens into this and easily beat this, but I just want to see if we can tank the first turn here. That's just going to be the first question. I think we'll be okay. So we're good. So now we get to see himiko in action. So we're going to put up our Elven Queen buff. And this is why I kind of want her to move last. She's not going to move last on this team because I need to speed up my Celine. And my Azura is super slow. But we still should get the point here. So this is extend all allies buffs by 1 turn. Oh, extend an allies buff. So what we can do here is we can extend Elven Queen. So now she'll have a 2-turn and a 4-turn immunity. You saw that? So now she's 4-turn immunity and a 2-turn invincibility. So now what happens is I don't have to worry about my Elven Queen at all. She's good. And now we proc into another turn. So since they don't have any debuffs up, what we can do here is we can balance all of the HP. Now I do have Celine, so I'm actually gonna save this until Celine puts up her heal and stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hit the Cleo. Now she doesn't have any debuffs up, so nothing's gonna happen here. So now on this turn, my Celine's gonna put up all of these buffs. That's why I kind of held off. That's why I feel like himiko moving last is gonna be the best option, because what happens is the team will move and then she'll move and then she'll extend all of these buffs. That's kind of what I was trying to say in the beginning. So I'm probably gonna have to speed up my Celine and my Azura, or maybe just slow himiko down a little bit for this particular team. Again, I'm sure there's other builds, other teams that she can go, and this is not the end all be all. This is just kind of how I'm seeing it for this particular team, that I would want her to move actually last. See, I should have used the revive on my Celine. We should be okay here. I mean, I'm not happy that our showcased monster died here, but let's just auto this. I think we're good now. Once we get rid of the Cleo, because they hit her first. Spider Queen's gonna kill. Yeah, we're not even gonna win this one. If we had Celine on revive, we'd actually be okay there. And yeah, I think it's important. Actually, you know what? Let's not use Celine. Let's go with Cleo. I think Cleo would be the better choice here. So let's go with Cleo. Let's see how Cleo does, because she does have the 1-turn heal. I know she doesn't have a full team heal, but my Celine's not speed tuned right, so I think this is gonna be a better way of showcasing himiko, because it's speed tuned better, because she'll move second to last now. We don't need to use that, so we kind of want to kill. And the reason I like this, I want to show you against this team with this Elven Queen, is because this Elven Queen's going to put up all of her stuff, and we get to see what himiko can do. Can we fully defense break everything here? So now this is where we get to see himiko really shine. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend some of Azura's stuff. See, now he's got 4-turn, 2-turn, 3-turn. See, that right there in itself is just amazing. So let's see if we can start stripping some of this stuff away from Celine. See, she stripped the immunity. And that, to me, like, she only has 40% accuracy, guys. So remember that. She's not 100%, and she stripped it one time already. So let's see if we can keep that going. We're going to have to get rid of that Dragoon now, because now she locked up our Elven Queen. Let's see. Let's protect the Elven Queen to keep her alive here. We don't need to use that quite yet. See, she stripped again. I'm pretty sure she just stripped something else. I think she had a speed buff. Did it go on my Zero? I can't see through the line over here. I need to pay more attention. The only issue with this team that we're using, it's a really slow, tanky team. So this is going to be a little drawn out. We have extend, so let's extend all his buffs again. You see, we're like pretty much keeping Azura's buffs up indefinitely. Now let's use this one here. See, and now we have all those buffs on our entire team. We took Azura's buffs and we put it on our entire team. Like, that to me is huge, guys. That's a huge thing. So let's see if we need to get rid of this Celine here. It's important that we kill her and then we work on this Dragoon. Can we strip something? Yep, see, again, we stripped something. Let's just keep hitting Celine here before she goes. Can we get her again? She's almost dead. Once we get rid of the Celine, we're pretty much good to go here. So this one again. Let's extend Azura again. Now he's got a speed buff too. Let's see if we can steal that heal. So we stole the heal, we put it on Cleo. Now we're going to take Cleo's heal and we're going to put it on our entire team. You see that? And everybody's got a bunch of heals now. It's so awesome. This is like such a perfect way to showcase her in this team right here. So let's put this on our himiko. Keep her safe. Okay, so now we can get rid of Celine. I'm going to use the A2 just in case. Sometimes when I use the A1, I regret it because then she doesn't die. So now let's get rid of this Dragoon so we can get our Elven Queen moving again. Let's just hit Elven Queen here. So here we go again. So we're going to extend. Let's actually extend our own buff. No, let's extend Azura's buffs. I don't think we can extend our own buffs. Let's extend Azura's buffs again. See, but as you guys can see, Azura's had these buffs this entire match. They haven't went away once. He's been fully buffed out this whole entire match. And here we go. We stole the attack buff. And now again, on the next turn, we're going to take the attack buff and put it on our entire team. We're going to protect. We're not going to protect himiko because you can't. I don't think you can take buffs from her. So we're going to put this on Elven Queen. We actually should have put it on Azura. We should have put it on Azura. No, we shouldn't have, because Azura's going to move now. No, we did the right thing. We did the right thing. Because you want to put it on whoever you're going to extend. So this way it extends all of those buffs and puts it on all the allies. Because if you put it on someone and then extend somebody else's buffs, that buff's not going to go along with the buff that you're extending. I don't know if that makes sense, but here we go. Let's get rid of this Dragoon now. All right, good job, Azura. So the rest is pretty much history here. Let's just auto this out and see, watch himiko in action. Make this too drawn out for you guys. But as you can see, she's stripping pretty much every single time. I haven't seen her miss one strip yet. Her extension of these buffs is insane because she just, like, everything just always has buffs. It's craziness. And you don't even have to bring the buffs in because she's stealing them from the other team and then extending them on your team. That's why I went with the skill set that I went with on her instead of like that passive, because I just feel like this is going to be like a really effective way of using your himiko. We're not going to do that right now. Let's just do a couple more so we can really get the point here. Thing is, can we survive this? I think we can. The main thing is like going into like a cleave team like this is, can you survive the first turn? If you can survive the first turn, you're pretty much going to be good to go. But we're on full immunity on this team. That's why I like this team better than the Celine. So we cut in now. Elven Queen goes. Now we're safe. And now we can even put our shield up and we'll have himiko extend all this stuff anyways. Let's just heal up our Elven Queen to be safe. Good thing we did that. So now what we do here is we go, this is why I love this skill set so much. This is a perfect example of it. We're going to extend the Zura with the A2. We're going to proc into the A3. And then we're going to extend everything across the entire team. You see? So now we got almost 3 turns of invincibility from Elven Queen's invincibility. So it's just craziness. I love seeing it. And now we're going to steal all of their buffs as well in the upcoming turns. If we don't kill everything first. We can steal the counterattack as well, which that's what I'm going to try to do. We're going to try to steal the counterattack here from the Druid. Can we steal it? Did we steal it? Yeah, we stole it, right? This is counterattack. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend it now through the rest of our team. And now we got 2 turns, 3 turns of counterattack. Now we're going to steal the haste buff. Stolen. And this, remember, this is 44% accuracy. So now that's stolen. So now we have, who has the haste? Okay, Zura has the haste. Let's see if we, and he has a 3 turn too. So now let's see if we can extend that to the rest of the team. We don't need to do anything here. Let's just hit the Druid. Now let's put up our shields. Now himiko should go after Elven Queen procs 100 times. And then we extend again, you see? Now we're extending again. This is crazy. Then the Berserk procs her. Now we can, let's just say we want to extend all of Cleo's buffs. Let's extend those. Now she got 4 turns, 3 turns, 2 turns, 3 shields, 3 haste buffs. Like, this is such a perfect example of how good himiko actually is. Now we just stole the heal and we can extend that. That's on the Xura. Next turn, and now she procced again, so now we can steal, let's say, the immunity. We just stole that. It went on our Xura, went up to 3 turns. Then we could put invincibility on our himiko. I could order this guy. I just want to show you how awesome this actually is. Like, at first I was a little unsure about himiko, but once I started using her, I was like, wow, this is really insane, especially on Berserk. That's why I dropped the agile runes right away, guys. I dropped them immediately because I realized Berserk is going to be her bread and butter because of this A2 going into the A3, then being able to proc back into the A1. It's like these A1, this A2 and A3 is always up. So every single turn you're extending like this. So let's say again, the Elven Queen, now we're going to extend with the A2. So it goes 4, 2, 2, and then we take the A3, and then we take all of Elven Queen's buffs, and we put them on the entire team. Now we got heals for days. Look at all these heals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then we got haste buffs for days. We got immunity for days. It's just craziness. I don't think I can show you guys a better example than this. So that we're going to end it after this because I think this just shows you guys enough and shows you enough of a first impression on himiko, and that if you pull her, build her, put her on Berserk, put her on immunity, make her pretty much the slowest on your team, or, you know, I would say the slowest on your team. My Xur is always going to be the slowest because it's so hard to get speed on him, and I'll never be able to get him like plus 150 speed. And I don't think you want your himiko to be that slow. So it's okay that she moves before your attacker if it's a Xur or something like that. But just make sure she's slower than your Elven Queen or your Celine, your Cleo. Just make sure she's slower than your buffers pretty much, because you want her to extend your buffers. So you want to make sure she's always slower than the people that are putting up your buffs, not necessarily your attacker, because you can always extend the buffs on your attacker anyways. I hope this shows you guys how awesome himiko is going to be in the game. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick overview on my girl himiko and how awesome she's going to be. For now, I think this is probably going to be the best way to build her, the way I built her here. Let's just pull her up on the screen one more time before we go, so you guys can see the stats one more time. I feel like this is going to be a really solid build for her. Maybe you get a little bit more attack, so there's a little bit more damage. Always a little bit more defense is going to be good. I don't think hit percentage over 40-50% is necessary. As you guys saw, she was hitting her A1 every single time. So I wouldn't worry about putting a slot 6 hit percentage on her. I would just try to get as much as you can in substats and leave it at that. Same thing with resistance. You saw she had a resistance lead. Get her about 50% resistance. And if you use the lead, she'll have 100% anyways. I don't know if I necessarily build it for damage. I think this is probably going to be the key build for himiko. I would definitely stick with the Berserk. Definitely try out this skill set, guys. The Supreme Witchcraft Proficiency, and the A1 is the A1, which is Bone Rot. And as you guys saw, this is just craziness paired with the right buffers. And make sure she's moving after your buffers. She doesn't. Your attacker can move last, but just make sure, like I said, she's moving after your Elven Queen, your Cleo, your Celine, because you want her to extend after they move. If she moves first, she won't be able to extend anything because there'll be nothing to extend unless you use her A1 first, steal something, then extend that. But you're better off extending your own buffs as far as Elven Queen, Cleo, you know, maybe even Windwalker when she puts up the haste buff, something like that. But I would say make sure she's moving after them, not before them. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. That is our first impressions on Himiko. As you guys know, I recently got a creator code. If you guys want to support me, all you have to do is type SpaceBallz in caps right up there where the name box is. Put it in the pack code. You get an awesome reward, and it really does help support me as a creator. So I do appreciate your continued support, guys. I really and truly do. If you guys want to follow me on Twitch, as always, that is in the description, along with Discord as well. We do have a giveaway going on, which is our 900 sub giveaway. We're actually growing quite fast. We're at like 52 subs away from 1,000. And once we hit 1,000, we're going to be doing a huge giveaway, guys. It's going to be the biggest giveaway we've ever done on this channel. So let's get through this 900 sub one, which we'll be picking the winner, I believe, 5 days from now or something like that. So once we pick the winner for that, we'll be moving on to the 1,000 sub one. And like I said, that one is going to be a huge giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway soon on Twitch as well. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, that's also, all this stuff is in the description, guys. I know I always say it, but I just like to remind you guys, or maybe somebody's new to the channel and they didn't see one of my past videos, so that's why I always remind you of this stuff. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway that's always going on, make sure you're sub to the channel, you're liking and commenting in all the videos to be a part of that. As always, I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. SpaceBallz out. Peace.